Welcome to Around the Blockchain. Today we're going to be talking about this brand new dump that just happened with Bitcoin. We're talking about new Cardano privacy coin, ADA Midnight, and stablecoin disruption. Is going to be a fantastic episode. We're going to start on the top right with CryptoKeeper, and he has an upcoming drop. You might want to check out his Twitter, learn more. On the bottom right, we have Crypto Crow, one of the Cardano OG, so it's a great episode to have him on. On the bottom left, we have Sin City Crypto, my favorite desert influencer. And on the top left, we have Ben Armstrong, and he's got no sleeves because he says the arms are strong. Look at those guns. All right, well, we're going to lead with the market watch today. I'll break it to you. We just lost 16K as support. This is just the latest figures here. We have Bitcoin. You can see just not even that long ago. What are we looking at? 220. Yeah, just a couple hours ago. The bottom fell out, and now Bitcoin is at 15,690. If we go to the coin market cap here, you can see the contagion is spreading slightly. You can see everything down about 4 to 5% in the top 10 right here. XRP holding up a little bit stronger. Polygon also holding up fairly well, only down 2%. But Bitcoin down to 15K. Let's just get right into it. Ben, a lot of people are saying if we break 16 as support, there's a lot of scary numbers coming up for what we might be hitting next. Obviously, we got to go to 14 before 14, but what do you think about 11?
7? What about
7? 3?
Yeah.
What are some of the scarier numbers you find possible?
You said scary numbers, right?
Yeah. Well, 7, 8, 9. And that's pretty scary in my book.
That's terrifying. That terrifies me. You stole my freaking joke.
You know, I assumed.
Well, you know, I don't know where to go now.
All right.
Hey,
we write each other's jokes here.
Do you know what 0 said to 8?
0 said to 8.
Nothing. Nice belt.
Okay, you got him. Okay,
nice belt.
That's actually
nice
not
belt.
bad. That's not bad. All right. I'm sure you found that on a popsicle. But when it comes to Bitcoin, you know, 15,600.
Let's get.
What are the realistic scary numbers?
No, get out of here, Robin. Get out of here, Robin. That's bogus, man.
Right. One point for crypto.
This video because of that. Okay, look, I think 8,000 something is a bad number. I think 9,000 is actually not that scary because I tend to believe that it's going to be like the worst case scenario. I mean, there's a worst case scenario where it goes to wherever. But in general, what I'm expecting a range of volatility would be, you know, for us to see Bitcoin go wick down to 10, 11, 12, somewhere in that range. And then if it wicks hard enough, wick down below to the 9s and come back up. Look, there are certainly some nightmare scenarios where we get off the Bitcoin 4-year cycle, just like people said in the last bear market, and just like people said in the last bull run. And both times we maintained fitting the highs and lows within those ranges. So until we get to January and see a new bottom, then I'm going to be very confident that sometime in the next 3 to 4 weeks, we are going to see the bottom for Bitcoin. It is going to be somewhere in that, 9,700 XX and up range.
All right. Well, CryptoKeeper, we have Thanksgiving just a few days away. I brought it up a few times on the episode how, probably a lot of people were suggesting to their family members to buy some cryptocurrency. Of course, now we look back at the charts. That was the top. We were literally telling them to buy the top, maybe down. It was 2 weeks prior. So not exactly, but very high amount of Satoshis we were asking them to spend there. Now, my question to you is, do you think this Thanksgiving, more or less people are going to suggest that their family members and closest people buy crypto? And what are your thoughts on that? And what is the CryptoKeeper strategy? Are you keeping it zipped, just asking for the gravy? Or are you going to try to push crypto down people's throats?
Great to be back on the show. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it, as always. Thanksgiving is always an interesting get-together because when Bitcoin is popping, the questions are, how do I get involved? I have a sneaky suspicion that the conversations are going to be more like, crypto's not doing so well, is it? Right? Not because anyone's trying to take a jab, but basically because they don't truly understand that fundamentally nothing's changed with crypto. And that's ultimately the conversation that needs to be had. Listen, nothing has changed. We've just had a lot going on, macro. I will say that I've got a number of, we were finishing up a job for my great aunt, and she pulled me aside because she didn't know that if my guys knew I was into crypto, my employees or whatever, And she said, honey, did this FTX thing hurt you? And she's like 83, right? And I've talked about this recently. Like the fact that she knew the FTX tells me all I need to know. They are pushing this news story hard. And so I think that will be more the conversation, but I will be the same person as I was before. The boring old dollar cost average guy. I'm the guy that says, hey, long term, I want to have as many Bitcoin as I can have. I want to have as many ETH as I can. So you can pass the gravy and I'll pour the gravy all over all of my Bitcoin and ETH as I continue to eat. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I'm passing it with the mashed potatoes there. All right, Crypto Crow, I have a stat for you that was accurate 24 hours ago. Now I'm sure it's a little bit higher number. This is the percentage of holders who are at a loss with the amount with the purchase price of their Bitcoin. In March 2020, with that crash, it was 58%.
50%.
Yeah, even slightly higher. Well, we were just at 52% yesterday. One must assume maybe 54, maybe even 55 at this point with this downward motion of about $1,000 just in the past 24 hours. So my question is, what do you think about that metric? Is it important? And is that a metric anyone really cares about? Do you think people care whether or not they're losing money, making money when it comes to selling Bitcoin at this price?
Well, to me, that metric is ultimately it's a ratio of people who just got into crypto, right? You can kind of almost tell who entered crypto when based off of where they are in profitability in a certain market cycle. So 50% or 54%, that's really not that terrible. I mean, but rather than complain and say, oh, I'm losing money, crypto's BS. If you've been spending all this time educating yourself on the market cycles and what's to be expected and the changes in the space while you're averaging your position down, well, then you become less a part of that ratio, right? Like it's all a matter of what you do in the bear market that ultimately dictates where you're at in the peak. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. That statistic doesn't really mean a whole lot to me. It just tells me that all those people came in, mid bull run instead of, where all of us are right now.
Yeah. Or maybe even June 2017, but they just, you just can't let go sometimes when you get these coins in your pocket. All right, Sin City Crypto, I want to switch gears and talk about a different coin here. This is Ethereum. I have the price chart right here. With Bitcoin's last crash when it fell to 17, Ethereum hit about 850, but this time it can't seem to go below $1,000. It is holding support strong. Right now it's at basically right at 1,100. Question to you, can you push ETH below 1,000? Is it going to go below 1,000? And what do you think of the recent Bitcoin crash? Bitcoin went lower, but ETH is higher. What are your thoughts?
I think if you see under $15,000 Bitcoin, we're going to see under $1,000 Ethereum. And when it breaks under that $1,000 support level, there's not a lot of breaks left in there. It's going to tumble down. I would probably say somewhere between $600 and $800 if I had to just throw a number at the wall. Which goes back to the point of DCAing in the middle of the bear market. And even if we don't go any lower, if today is the bottom of the market and we never see Bitcoin at this price ever again, or if we go down to 12,000, I mean, the gains that you get from entry point here now today, or the entry point in 20% off or 30% off from where it is today is pennies compared to where you're going to be at the 5 or 10 year strategy instead of trying to time the bottom. And so, you don't need to look very far, but maybe look at the last bull market where you had Cardano sitting at around 1 to 5 cents for over a year. And you can take that example and look at Ethereum, or even Cardano if you want to, or a host of other tokens that we're going to come back for the next bull market that are probably due for 10 to 100x gains from where they're at now. And all you got to do is just buy and hodl in and just DCA out on the way up. So for me, I look at this as a buying opportunity. I'm gonna be over here making my rounds at Thanksgiving. And I'm going to be promoting crypto. I'm going to be like, hey, now is the time. And, my mom, she's not going to have anything to say about crypto, but she's going to be like, is that YouTube thing you doing still paying? Are you making any money yet? And be like, no, Mom, but I'm making money with that Cardano.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a great segue. Let's talk a little Cardano. I'm gonna pull up the full price chart here. If you just want to feel a little bit of pain, and you brought some of these local highs here. Right now, we are currently trading, I believe, 30 cents. Yeah, 30 cents. 0.2 there. If you remember, our previous all-time high was about $3.09 back in the day. And before the last bull run, you can see it just kind of hanging out that 10-cent nickel area for a long time there. But Cardano is a huge upgrade, and that is Project Midnight. No, this isn't some Batman episode. It is a privacy coin using zero-knowledge proof technology. It's going to have smart contracts, and Charles Hoskinson was just talking about it at the Scott Fest Festival. But Crow, I want to set the stage when we talk about Cardano. Then we'll get into the nuts and bolts of this. Looking at this chart, whereabout did you get in? And my question to you is, are the vibes you're feeling now for Cardano, is this similar to how you felt in late 2018, early 2019? If so, how is it good? How's it a bad thing? Or does it feel completely different? What are your thoughts on the Cardano vibe during this bear market?
When you say, when did I get in? What do you like?
Price wise, like, what was your first ADA? I know, I'm shockingly close to my first purchase price years ago, unfortunately.
This is about to be.
Crypto Crow created. He created Cardano.
Yeah, that's right.
He invented it.
Wait. That's right. Just here it comes. Come on, Crow. Give him the heat.
I'll be humble. No,
Charles?
I'm kidding. So,
Is that you, Charles?
I've been in it since pretty much the beginning when I first read the white paper. When I got like the most recent, where I started to average back in after selling closer to the top of this last cycle, I started averaging back in at 50 cents, knowing full well it was going to go back down. But I felt like I wanted my arms and legs back after I had given them away at much higher prices. But I wanted the peace of mind of still having a substantial supply, even if I knew it was going to be at a higher price. It was still, a third and a fourth of what I sold it at originally.
All right. Well, how does this bear market vibe feel to the last bear market vibe? Because Cardano's a lot more robust today.
So, how do things feel? Things feel a lot different, honestly. There's a yin and yang to how things feel. So the regulatory pressure, all of the chaos and craziness going on. It seems like every cycle we have some big hoopla, right? That just keeps the FUD going to drive the price lower. But as far as Cardano specifically, I think Cardano is about to open the floodgates to their entire ecosystem soon. And they're implementing things, and they're preparing to launch things that answer questions that other lesser blockchains have been trying to answer but have never quite grasped. And I think that, we're starting to see this ecosystem just blossom, just like the logo. You know what I mean? It's a big, beautiful flower that's ultimately going to start coming together. And, I think people that have been looking past Cardano or trying to FUD it, or I think a lot of these people are about to have their eyes opened in significant ways over the next couple of years, for sure.
Well,
so
I know
by that front, I'm extremely bullish.
Yeah, well, I know there's a lot of people who see flowers, but there's other people who grab thorns. And, Ben, you're no stranger to thorny issues, and you've kind of had a good insight of the last 30 days of how the VC institutions work when it comes to investing in coins. I'm going to try to keep us in a narrow lane here. Cardano's long been ignored by the VC industry, and now they have egg on their face. Do you think that their strategy is going to change, and are they going to try to accumulate during the bear market, or is that just never going to be part of their operation because they didn't get in early?
What did you say they had on their face?
Egg, yolk.
Egg.
Yeah,
yolk.
Yes. Sometimes other things. What happens in the Bahamas stays in the Bahamas, but when it comes to the VCs, what do you think?
Well, some people say I'm yoked, but I prefer the egg whites, especially. Okay. So, look, here's the deal. You want to know why the VC companies don't? Robin, you put that mother chucking thing down. Put that back down. He's got that freaking dislike. Go ahead, show him. No, put it down. Don't make me come after you. I've been known to come after folks lately, Robin. I will come after you, bro. Listen, VC companies hate Cardano. And the reason is because the VC companies operate by getting the coins on the front end. They make deals. They have private sales. They get seed investments. They got pre-seed investments. That's where they make all their money. Go look at the chart of who owns what when it comes to crypto. As you know what? As a matter of fact, Let me see if I can pull up this chart and show you
kind
guys.
you kind of bring up a good point. I want to ask a follow up. Do you think VCs would just always ignore coins that they don't get pre-sale allocation?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, why would they not? I mean, and not only that, it actually goes even a little bit further than that, because it's not just do they ignore, but will
FUD.
they intentionally FUD, right? So
Good
let me
point.
pull up my my screen here. So you might let's see, window, Chrome tab.
Kind of explains why they don't want a Bitcoin ETF. They didn't get in cheap.
Right, exactly. So you look here at this, okay? You see where the public sale is, you see the community allocations, you have the insiders, you have the foundations and more. And we're actually going to break this down when we get to ICP, when we do a full review on ICP, because all of this information is not 100% accurate, okay? But if you look at this, what you will find is that outside of EOS, which is the biggest, the biggest ICO of all time at $4 billion, Cardano has the highest amount of public sale. 81% of their sale was public. Then you look here, 17% goes to insiders. So that's the VCs, 17%. So there were some involved. But then you look at the 2% for the foundations. The Cardano Foundation only got 2%. And you start here, and you see that 48% of Solana was actually used as insider money. You come down here and you look at some of these other projects. See, in the 40s, Tron's was pretty high. Binance was 50%. Insiders got 50%. I'm not sure if that includes people that use the exchange and that got counted there. I'm not sure. Public sale, 50%. But I do want to real quickly, if I can. I got some really interesting insight into Internet Computer Protocol. Basically, here's why these numbers are a little misleading, because here it looks at 35% goes to the foundation, which keep in mind when it comes to ICP specifically, that the foundation's a nonprofit. Like, it's not like it's some kind of giant business. 39% here go to insiders. So if you look here and you say, man, in this project, look how much went to inside and look how much went to the foundations and more. These are probably somewhat accurate numbers. But what you have to understand, the reason why the insiders and the foundations get, or the insiders specifically, get such a huge allocation is because early on in a project's life stage or a stage of life, when these projects are using their coins as bonuses to try to pay people to come work for them. Let's say you're working at Internet Computer Protocol, and let's say the price is 10 cents, okay, of the coin. And I don't know the exact tokenomics right now, so I'm not going to give you a full out example, but let's say it's 10 cents. You hire a developer to come work, and you say, hey, we're going to give you $50,000 worth of tokens for the next year for working on this at 10 cents. Well, what happens when the project went up to $500? You didn't pay any more. You didn't pay any more of those tokens to the developer. But that developer's tokens that were 10 cents just got what, a 5,000x, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Is that math right? Is that a
5,000x?
A 5,000x. Now, I don't know if it ever traded 10 cents. I was using that for example. When you look at a lot of these numbers that are eaten up by how much the foundation has and how much the insiders have, it's not necessarily that they just gave all the money away. Some of it is incentivizing people to come in when the price is low, and then the price goes up, and now it makes it look like they handed out a huge majority of the tokens, of the overall value of the project. But the value of the project is what really propels something like Internet Computer Protocol to be able to, make it look like those insiders and the foundations have all the money. Whereas opposed to you go look at Solana, and when their sale was, they're
a lot different chart than Cardano. A lot different right there.
Well, I've always said Cardano is the anti-Solana, and Solana is the anti-Cardano. They're the two most opposite projects, in my opinion, in the entire space. One is a centralized point of view. One is a decentralized point of view. You could say the same thing about Cardano and Ethereum. Look, the numbers are so similar. And you could say, well, Cardano is what Ethereum wanted to be. Ethereum wanted to put something out first and just get it out there. So, very interesting to watch these, contributions and where those go. And I'd also say that Old Man Crow over there, old man Crypto Crow. That's the guy that really first turned me on to Cardano, to be honest. He's the one that talked me into it, that it really was going to be something. And, so
I
we are
think
the
it ended up
Cardano
being
community, and,
hey,
shout out to
we're
Crow.
still staking. We're still staking. All right. Well, CryptoKeeper, I kind of want to ask you this about privacy. Kind of seems right up your alley. This is a quote from Charles Hoskinson. This is talking about the privacy coin here. This is what enterprise absolutely wants, and we've seen Walmart and some of the largest companies in the world working on privacy with Hyperledger. Now, there's two ways of looking at that. Yeah, big corporations, they're keen on working with privacy coins, or maybe there's a little bit of hopium there. What are your thoughts? Do you think Amazon, the Walmarts, the Toys R Us.coms, do you think that these people are interested in accepting privacy coin payments?
I don't know about accepting privacy coin payments, but I will say they themselves, the companies, are very interested in privacy. The kind of the disconnect though, and this is where it's the problem. It's the whole idea, the mantra of like good for thee, but not for, or rules for thee, but not for me. And I think that's kind of where the privacy coin comes in, right? The government, they want their privacy. So they'll figure out a way to be on a private blockchain. They'll figure out a way to be able to use their own privacy coins. And oh yeah, you, the US citizen, it's for your protection. Okay. Same thing with some of these big companies that, oh, by the way, do big business and make decisions right alongside our government. And they're going to say, well, it is for the protection of all the consumers that use, our services. That's all it is, right? But the facts are and support the fact that they just don't want you in their business, but they want to be in your business. So I think what it'll come down to is, who are the privacy coins actually going to be for? If the privacy coins and that feature is going to be for these big companies and really for the big companies to be able to utilize on their end of things, then yes, I think that it'll do well. And I think that they will, in some sort of way, make that happen. But if this is for the community, if this is for the retail trader, absolutely not. The feds, the government, the big companies, they want you to lose all of your privacy and they want to have all of theirs. So I think that's really what it'll come down to. Who's it for? Who's going to be able to use it? And what does that look like as far as, where that's headed?
Yeah, another way of looking at losing your privacy is losing your control. And I barely controlled myself with this tweet that I did. I'm glad, Ben, that you brought up Masari's crypto report. I actually didn't know you were going to pull that up. I tweeted at them 6 hours ago. Ryan Selkis, head of Masari Research. How am I supposed to write this dang report when everyone I start to write about goes bankrupt? I just replied, write about Cardano instead. Finally, maybe, that'd be a novel idea. All right, well, Sin City Crypto, I want to ask you about Gary Gensler and the dirty regulators. Do you think that Cardano is putting a target on its back, rolling out features with privacy coins? Is this going to end up creating more problems than solutions?
Oh man, yeah, I think he is painting a bullseye, man. Cardano has been free of the scrutiny from the SEC so far. They do have a lot of similarities when it comes to their ICO for what Ripple Labs and XRP had. And so, I would pay close attention to that court case. And if it were some reason where we go unfavorably for Ripple Labs, the next target I would see would be Cardano. But that's a lot of ifs to it. But the privacy coin, it really surprises me. Well, Cardano, they have the stable coin. The stable coin, you got to keep in mind that when you have a stable coin native to the chain, that is great for DeFi. And so if you look at Ethereum and when its DeFi exploded, you had the integration of Tether, the ERC20 token, the same thing with the Binance and the Smart Chain. And so if you want a thriving DeFi ecosystem, you need a native token that represents a dollar value that is for its use case. On top of that, you have Cardano also. IOHK last week announced that they are going to bring out a ZK rollup, or that their intention is to have their own ZK rollup come out as well for scaling. You have the last era is Voltaire, which is going to really bring in governance and more decentralization. And not to mention, Cardano led the last 2 or 3 years in developer activity. And so you're seeing a thriving ecosystem in the DeFi space, which is all going to be pumped up even more with their own stable coin. And then on top of that, I'd like to see the stable coin being used in Africa. And I know they're trying to move money around for banking the unbanked there. And I think that'll be a great tool for citizens to use. And yeah, I mean, I'm just excited.
All right,
Really excited
real
about
quick, you
Cardano.
brought up
Great time to buy.
USDA, which is going to be their upcoming stablecoin. Quick question, Sin City Crypto, what do you feel more comfortable participating with DeFi? Is it ETH or Cardano once they have this new stablecoin?
I mean, I'm a big Cardano guy, but I'm always time in the market. I don't care who it is. And so for me, unless it's to fulfill a transaction, I'm just going to get in and get out. Even your favorite projects, if something's new, you should always proceed with caution. You don't want to just assume that this is going to be the latest and greatest. I mean, we saw what happened with Luna. Everyone was piling in, oh, this algorithmic stablecoin, it's the future. This is how we're going to transact all the time. And even though I'm a big fan of Cardano, I would hesitate to get into a stable coin until it's gone through its time. That's just me. That's my philosophy with everything, no matter how big of a homer it is. If it's new and shiny, let it break, let somebody throw stuff at it, and then later on I'll test it out myself.
All right. Well, Ben,
if I can jump in real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. Crypto Crow.
Quick points. You don't even have to give me any points for this because I'm kind of cheating. But what one point is Cardano's ICO was originally in Asia and primarily in Japan. And I'm pretty sure that its ICO regulations and things were all kind of dotted and crossed and things back when it happened. I don't think they had, unless I'm somehow wrong, which I'm always right sometimes. But I don't think they had an American ICO. Second thing to CryptoKeeper, number one, it was really fun to do your show the other night. I got a little tipsy. For those of you out there that want to hear my tinfoil hat business, you get your opportunity and probably full blast on CryptoKeeper. I figure it's better he get banned than me, so I went full bore on his channel. I'm kidding, but we had fun. And the other thing real quick is as it relates to Midnight and the privacy vertical in Cardano, I think CryptoKeeper made the perfect point. See, here's the thing. As big of a Cardano proponent as I've been for years, Cardano's not stupid. And all of the people involved, all of the different entities and the engineers and the teams and everybody, they're not stupid. And I think that when you look at Cardano's primary focus in terms of use case on a global scale, you'd be crazy to think that it's all focused around retail investors and retail use case, in which case it's all going to be, there's going to be a lot about corporate structure, corporate finance, governmental control, regulation. I mean, think about it. They're creating systems by which you can vote on the blockchain. I mean, Voltaire is it's all about governance and voting and all of that. And they're going to start testing that in other countries. And they're going to want to secure a lot of that data. And they're going to want to secure a lot of these transactions involved with companies on the back end and things. So I don't necessarily think Midnight, which is also the name of my wife's cat, by the way, it's funny because we have Cardano and Midnight, and we've had Midnight for 21 weeks. So
next
there
cat's
you go.
a Mergo.
But anyway, yeah, I think that was the perfect point.
All right, and Threat Level Midnight, a great Michael Karn movie. All right, CryptoKeeper, response on this rolling out. Could it be a global financial instrument? And then we'll end with Ben.
Repeat the question again.
Can this rollout of the stablecoin, Crypto Crow's kind of painted a picture where it might be used for transactions in Africa or maybe even Asia. Can you see a global adoption that might even supersede USDT, USDC?
I don't think so. Just from the simple standpoint, that same thing that we've been talking about, where the decentralization versus the centralization. I think that these the government is going to be what's going to drive whatever stablecoin gets pushed to the top. Whichever one gets elevated, it's going to be because the government says, "Hey, ominous dominus, you've been blessed. This is who we want to press forward." I think the problem that Cardano has there is that Charles Hoskinson doesn't care, as the project as a whole. He doesn't care at all, like what the price is. He's not trying to actively do a good job marketing. He really wants to solve some problems. And if you ask me, I don't think the government's about solving problems. The government's about how much confusion can we cause, how much division can we cause, and what can we do to make money off of every single little bit of that. And so when something solves a problem, when something actually is a positive, a net positive for the people, whether it be Africa, whether it be the United States, whether it be Europe, no matter where it is, I think ultimately, if they're not in control of that positive movement, they're going to push back against it. So I would say that somebody like Circle that can be controlled by an entity like the Fed or the SEC or whoever, takes the reins as it's related to that. I think they're going to be the ones that are going to say, okay, this is who's blessed, this is who's going. And I can't see a decentralized, focused project such as Cardano getting that blessing, because it doesn't allow them to be in the driver's seat and take the wheel.
No, you put up a good point. If they're not behind the positive change, they'll FUD it. Just makes me think of the vitamin D study that just came out. They weren't behind that, can't monetize that, so nothing left to do but FUD, right? All right, Ben, I asked you about VCs in Cardano. My next question is another group you might have a contentious issue with. Let's just say we're talking about those old school DeFi whales, those ETH whales. Maybe they got into Bitcoin early. They regularly do 7 to 8 figure Aave swaps without breaking a sweat. Maybe they have glasses. Are these people going to embrace Cardano, or are they forever going to hate it? Because I see a lot of contentious animosity between the old ETH natives and the new Cardano fans.
Yeah, it's a cult. I mean, let's face facts here. We're all in cults. There's no doubt about it. I mean, look, the tribalism is real, and you get involved in these cults, and it's Hotel California. You can never leave. These early Ethereum developers, they're stuck. Like, they can't get out of Ethereum. Why would they? That's where they put all their investment and time and resources. So I think Cardano definitely has its own little cult as well. Cardano community. I mean, there's a lot of people. It's a very unique community, just like the XRP army. It's very unique. Like there's not really another community out there like it. The Ethereum community. I mean, like, does Ethereum even have a community? Like, if we're being honest here.
A small, tight-knit community of people with a lot of money.
Yeah, that's what it has. But, like, people that they're not like, hey, like, I might hashtag ETH gang or something sometimes, but it's like, where is the Ethereum community? Like, there's a lot of
they're not doing community meetups in a town of like 200,000 people. And, you actually have like 3 dozen people there. Yeah, you're not seeing that. Good point.
Yeah. So I think that, it's not the kind of thing where, well, Sin City's got a little vitality. Yeah, like those people are in the Cardano or in the community that they're dancing crazy.
There's live footage of the community.
Right. There are some people, but if you look at the overwhelming amount of people that are in Ethereum compared to the amount of people that would say, oh, no, I am part of the Ethereum community and I am tribalistic and I do not go into anything else. I don't think Ethereum has that same kind of community. It's just, it's really driven by the developers.
Yeah, I mean, I think Crow put it a good way. He felt like he lost an arm and a leg and he had to buy more. I don't know too many people who sold 4,800 ETH. Justin Sun still hasn't bought. Come on, don't you feel like you lost an arm or a leg? Hurry up and market buy with all that Tether Tron that you have sitting on the sidelines. But that is all we have time for today. It's been a great episode. I hope we talked you off the edge with the $15,000 Bitcoin. There is a little bit of bright future. There's a lot of chains out there building. But speaking of builders, I think CryptoKeeper, I believe you're building something yourself, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Thank you again. Make sure to follow all of the different creators here on the show. Tonight, we have a mint happening. Danger Close Alpha. It's dangerclosealpha.com. The mint is going to be commodities. It's going to be bullets, beans, and bourbon. And if you are interested in anything that is either crypto or prepper related or a combination of the two, we would love to have you. We're giving away 5 ETH, not 0.5, 5 ETH. So get involved, dangerclosealpha.com, jump on our Discord, find out. And again, follow all these creators. They do a great job. There's a reason that they're here. I love you, fam. Thank you.
That is all we got time for. A great episode. Until next time, BitSquad. Easy out.